Welcome to Spirit-Led Radio. I am your host, Heather Strang, and I am so excited to be with you as I am every week. And this week we're going to be talking about how to get out of your own way, and we're doing that courtesy of a transmission from the JOGs and my latest book, A Life of Magic, an Oracle for Spirit-Led Living. We also have an awesome question today about speaking in tongues. I love these questions that you guys are bringing in because I get to go in to meditation and chat with the JOGs and get even more guidance about these fascinating topics you're bringing in. So we'll be answering that question as well. I want to share with you a little bit about how we came to this week's topic of how to get out of your own way. I have been experiencing just one string of magical awesome after the next, and it is just as the JOG said it would happen. And I found myself yesterday evening in a state of questioning it. Like, is this real? Like, is this really happening? Because it's just like one piece of awesome after the next. What the hell is going on? And really getting in my head about it and looking at it from different angles in my mind, really trying to make sense of how can this much awesome flow in so easily. And there's certainly pieces of magic that I'll be sharing with you more in depth as I'm moving into my Spirit-Led Mastery program. My Eternal Love folks are getting the more specific details about what's happening. They have me really keep my magic in a sacred container and then sharing, with those who are in my programs. And then when I get the okay, I share it with a wider audience, and on it goes. But I was really having some head stuff come up of questioning and doubting and like, are you sure about that? And so I went to the Oracle. I went to the book that I channeled. Yes, I use the Oracle every day, just like everyone else. I want to make it very clear because there are little, things people say about like, oh, gurus and this and that. And the other thing about, people who, are spiritual teachers. I want to be very clear. I never set out to be a spiritual teacher. I never set out, sure as hell, never set out to translate messages from higher consciousness. I am right there with you guys. I am receiving it. I'm the vehicle. This is my destiny to allow this to flow through. But this is not something where I'm like, I have all the answers and here you go. This is like, I'm right there with you as another soul on this path of enlightenment, this path of magic, this path of spirit, who just so happens to have a destiny to bring this information through and share it with others. This is by no means a guru situation. So I didn't bring through the Oracle and then I'm just like, yeah, you people should read it. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm using this every day in my spiritual practice. So was in my head, was like questioning all of the awesome that's coming up. And there's just been synchronicity after synchronicity, which always lets me know, right? Like you're on the right path. Everything is happening as it's meant to. Of course, it always is, but the synchronicity brings me so much joy and really lets me know, the JOGs are right here with me. We're doing this together and we're so on track. But I was getting in my head, and so I grabbed the Oracle and I said, okay, guys, what do I need to know? What am I missing here? Like, what is happening right now? Why am I, in my mind trying to sort this out when really everything I've ever wanted, like I'm in a place right now, and I was sharing this with my sister the other day, like everything I ever dreamed of is like happening, not in the way that I ever would have thought or how, but just like even better. And I just cannot even believe it. And so I'm sitting with the Oracle, I'm asking the question, and I flip to how to get out of your own way, Heather Strang. And I was like, okay, I got it. And it's a beautiful transmission. And as I was reading it, they said, and I read them out loud because I really feel like for me, it really activates even more of the energy that's coming through the transmission. And they said, and you'll be sharing this, tomorrow when you record the Spirit-Led Radio show. So I'm working with this Oracle just like you are. I'm being blown away by it just like you are. It is giving me so much clarity on my path and supporting me and really staying aligned on the path of my destiny. And I just absolutely love sharing it with you. So with that, let's go into the transmission. I would encourage you, if you're in a place that you can do this, to close your eyes. Yeah, I can feel them come in because now we're just like, really sinking into your body here. Take some nice deep breaths. Allow these words to wash over you, wash through you, and support you in getting out of your own way as they're supporting me in getting out of my own way. So here we go. One of the aspects of your journey as a spirit in a body that we watch time and again is that you all have moments where you get in your own way. You know this, don't you? You quote unquote know, or say you quote unquote know, the intended way to allow you to have and experience and be and do all that this magnificent life has in store for you. And yet you find yourself focusing on aspects that do not serve you. You find yourself asserting your will when you know that doing so blocks the energetic flow. You find yourself bad-mouthing another or yourself, and yet in your heart of hearts you know with absolute certainty, and we know that you do know, these behaviors only hinder you. And while some of you are prone to berate yourself, discouraging yourself, talking about yourself in a less than positive way when you notice the above behaviors in your life experience or just in general, that too only holds you back. There are so many ways that you do this unnecessarily to yourself. Focusing on another and their success and using that as a reason to feel bad, to make them or yourself wrong, is yet another way. And all of this really serves you not one iota at all. Again, you know this, but so many of you go to these behaviors again and again, and they do not serve you. And so we would like to ask of you something very, very important. We would like to ask you to stop doing that. And yes, it seems as though this would be easy to do, and yet you say it is not. We would like to ask you to do something else instead. We are going to make this easy for you and allow it to quickly replace the defeating behaviors we have already outlined here. We want you to focus on one thing and one thing only. What feels good? Ah, you say, I already know about this, and if I could, I would. And we say, but you do not know about this in the way that it is intended, about it in the way that will serve you above all else. You have the powerful ability to shift energy through your focus. Many of you know this, and if you're reading this or listening to this, you probably work with this concept in your life. But your thoughts are powerful energy forms, and when you can focus your thoughts on energy forms that feel good in your body, you literally can create new and more aligned and more magnificent external manifestations in your life. So let's say you see something that instantly takes you back to an old habit thought form of yours. It gets you beating up on yourself or looking down on yourself or another. All that is a massive energy that has preceded it, a reactive programmed response. Someone else is having success that makes me feel like not a success, or whatever it might be. Who cares where it came from or when it started? Let's just work with where you're at right now. That information, while mildly helpful, usually throws you more off track than putting you on track. So you notice this, and here's what you can do in an instant to shift this. You can come up with a phrase that reminds you of what your true intention in this life is. For Heather, this has been the word fun or millionaire. Both words lighten things up for her. They make her feel playful and light and easy. Align with a word or phrase that makes you feel light and playful and easy. It doesn't matter what it is. Maybe it's a word that makes you laugh out loud. It doesn't matter. What is most important is the vibration this word puts you in. So you say this word once you notice yourself doing the above non-helpful response, and then maybe you tap cortices or you dance or move your body in some way, imagining you are shaking out the old thought forms and habit pattern of response. You use your word, you move your body in some way, and you consciously choose to follow the thought pattern of the word you have chosen, which calls forth easy and light and playful energy from you. This is truly and really one of the best and easiest ways to reprogram those old thought form patterns. You may notice them rearing up and trying to get your attention more once you start doing this. It's only that vibrational frequency rising more to the surface before it completely expires. You literally can discard old thought forms forever in this way. It needn't be tedious or difficult or trying to do this. All of you have these quirks, these aspects of thought that do not serve you, these triggers as some may call them. This is a piece that you are again evolving forward, not only for your journey, but for the collective. The more you are choosing not to engage less than supportive thought forms, the more they will not be accessible to other spirits in a body. It diminishes the power of these lower vibrating or frequency thought forms, which makes them less accessible to the whole. That's why the collective or group energy is so powerful. When many of you are focused in one particular way, it sends out a ripple of thought form energy that others of similar vibration can be affected and influenced by if they choose to latch onto the thought. If you notice thought forms coming your way that do not feel in alignment with you, you can simply use this process to shift right around them and not take them on. Heather is wondering how anything could come to you if it is not in direct alignment with your own frequency. There are many reasons for this. In Heather's case, she's an uplifter of others, so others may bring to her their experiences asking for support. Heather can feel the misalignment of the energy, and yet it is her role to support the other in remembering who they really are, someone who is not a true energetic match for whatever experience they are bringing her. These experiences may be called to you because, as is the case with Heather, it is part of your soul path to support a certain group of other spirits in a body. All of you need support in one form or the other. We do not encourage nor do we believe that anyone should ever have to do any or all of this journey solo. It was never meant to be that way. So yes, you may be a direct vibrational match to an experience because it's part of your soul's path or journey, or because it's something you have experienced previously in this lifetime or in a lifetime before, and it is wanting to be fully released. And you can do so with this exercise we have given you, and in other ways that we will share in the future as well. You may be a vibrational match because it is a reflection of something within you as well. There are so many possibilities before you, and it helps for you to tune into your own deep wisdom to know the perfect aligned response for you, and to use a tool like the one we share here to support you in letting go of unhelpful thought forms once and for all. We want you to know that there are so many ways that you can shine more brightly in your experience. You can choose so very powerfully where you desire your intention to be, where you desire your focus to be. You can summon through your powerful focus all that you desire if you have zero resistance to it coming to you. If you have some resistance, it is okay, and that's where these tools come in handy for you. Know your power, remember your power, and remember that every piece of anything and everything that comes your way simply gives you an opportunity to remember the truth of who you are, without exception. In love, the JOGs. I mean, how does it get any better than that? I don't know. I loved in that transmission, it completely blew me away when they said that when we shift our thought forms, when we shift out of negative thought forms, we are literally shifting the availability of that thought form to others in the collective. What the what? Are you kidding me right now? Like literally, it's not just about like, I just had this conversation with a mentorship client. It is not about like time to get in your positive thinking mode. Oh, no. We are going so much deeper than that. This is about literally saying, I will not do that to myself. And then knowing that when you choose to not engage negative thought forms, you are making that fear cycle, that negativity in whatever brand it's showing up for you, you are making that less accessible to other souls who are part of this collective that also have access. There's all these vibrations out there that we have access to, right? And so when we are engaging a negative thought cycle, we're not only just hurting ourselves, we're hurting the collective because we're activating that thought cycle to now be accessible by even more people. That's how powerful we all are. And so when we see a negative thought cycle come up and we realize, and sometimes we wake up in the middle of it, right? Like I had that experience, yesterday where I was like, wait a second, I'm totally in a story that says like, I don't get to have all of this because right now what's manifesting for me are things that I never, like I always like wanted, but never, I realized I never really thought it was possible for me. At the core level, I still discovered that I had a story that says like, yeah, Heather, you can be happy and you can be successful and rich, but only, not that much. That's not for you. That's for other people. And so I woke up in the middle of the story and was like, holy shit, I have a story that says I don't get this. These core things that I've wanted ever since I can remember. And by me saying, you know what, I'm not going to engage that. Nope, not activating that story anymore. I literally make that story is now less accessible than it was when I was activating it and participating in it. And so we really get to see our power here, that you're not just shifting this for you, you are shifting it for the collective consciousness. And let's talk about those in the mainstream that aren't listening to this spirit-led radio. They don't even know, because it's not their path to know. They don't even know what they don't know. They don't realize that they're activating these thought forms and they're contributing to the negative decline of the collective by engaging in those thought forms. But you know, because you're an advanced soul, if you are called to my work, if you are listening to this radio show, if you are working with me in any capacity, you are an advanced soul. Those are the only folks that are magnetized to me. It's why the JOG said, don't waste your time on like advertising campaigns and like trying to get out there and reach more people, because I'm specifically here for advanced souls. I'm not here for everyone. And so if you are listening to this, you're an advanced soul, which means you now know, and there's no going back. Once we know, we can't just pretend to be unconscious anymore. That's just not how it works, and we didn't come here for that. So I want you to really take the power of this transmission and realize that you get in your own way and you get in the way of the collective when you allow those negative thought forms to rule your thought cycles. It is not someone else's fault. It's not about somebody else. It's not out there. It's all within us and our connection to spirit. So I love this transmission. It totally reset me. I was just like, oh my God, I see it. Got it. Yes. I went to bed last night. As I laid in bed, got total clarity about where that whole negative stream of consciousness had come from. Came from my mom, of course. Showed me like when it occurred, when I took it on, why I took it on. I was shown how to take my power back from that situation. Woke up and I had been in some body pain because I was in this negative thought cycle. So your body's always going to let you know, especially those of us on this path that are advanced souls. Our bodies don't let us get away with shit. They let us know right away when we're out of alignment. So if you have any sort of physical pain, it's time to go deeper in your spiritual and emotional work, because spirit communicates through the body. So I woke up this morning feeling amazing. And so we really can shift it that quickly if we're willing to do the work. And you wouldn't be here if your soul wasn't being called, if you weren't a soul that has lived many, many lifetimes, that is here to really help support more of the mainstream and their own up-leveling. So when they come back in their next lifetime, they have greater access to this wisdom. That's why we're doing this work. It's so important. So, so important. Okay, my loves, we're going to next go into the question for this week that came through that I just so loved. So this gal was asking about speaking in tongues. This is something that she's been able to do for a very long time. She was never taught how to do it. She wasn't in a church. There are some churches, I think Episcopalian maybe, where that is like a primary tool that they will activate. And so she didn't even know it was a thing, but she's really curious about what it means. And she's not sure, like, she thinks she's speaking a language, but it's not one she can recognize. And so she wanted to know more about this. So went in deeper with the JOGs to ask, like, what is the highest light perspective on this? Remember, we're not asking, like, what are the possibilities? What are the theories or concepts? We want to know, how does Source see this? What is the highest light perspective on this topic? And what they said is, number one, you want to make sure if you're having experiences like that, you are bringing through, translating information, but you want to first, as always, anytime we're working in the non-physical realms, you want to say, I want to be very clear that nothing comes through me unless it's the highest light. I'm not interested in bringing gibberish through. I'm not interested in bringing in other languages. I'm interested in having total clarity about what higher consciousness wants me to bring through. So first and foremost, you set your intentions. This is very important, and your intentions will always be honored. When I first started, I don't want to say when I first started on this path because that started so long ago, but in 2012, I started working with non-physical energy. They don't like me to say the other side, but I'm going to use that just so you know what I'm talking about. Departed family members or transitioned family members started coming into my client sessions. And, that was a little bit terrifying for me because I had not had, a lot of connection with non-physical energy. And in fact, I was raised in a belief system as a Jehovah's Witness that taught that, there's just basically bad spirits out there. So if that's happening to you, something bad is happening. But I knew it couldn't be bad because my grandfather, who was like an elder in the Jehovah's Witness congregation, as soon as he made his transition, he showed up, in my dreams. Then he showed up in full form, physical form at the side of my bed. So I was like, okay, well, obviously I know enough now to know that's a bullshit teaching to keep people small and controlled. So I've got to be open to what's really coming through here. But once I started having them come through my sessions and I was guided how to work with them, then they started waking me up in the middle of the night, which scared the shit out of me. So I had to set boundaries. So the guidance was just set boundaries. Just say, I'm not available for that. If you have a message, you can only come in this way. This is the only way I'll receive you. And now at this point, I don't receive any non-physical energy unless it is the JOGs. I only want to work with the highest light. And so the number one piece of information that came through when I asked the JOGs about this was, make sure you set the intention. I'm only interested in bringing through the highest light, because when you are speaking in tongues, you are bringing through a transmission from non-physical. But again, we're not interested in just playing around in dimensions. We want the real deal. We want real clarity. We want real guidance. So you want to set the intention. I'm not interested in speaking other languages. I'm not interested in bringing through gibberish. I'm interested in having the highest light flow through me. So if you'd like to bring something through in that vein, please do. If not, please stop. So basically what you can do, and the gal who was asking about this, is just set that intention. The boundary will be honored. And then you just allow yourself to go deeper and deeper into your meditation. So the guidance was to increase your meditation time with the intention of being in the receiving mode of the highest light. And then just see what you notice and play with it in that way. And see how that shifts the communication. So speaking in tongues is a transmission of non-physical energy. But again, we're not interested in just playing with all the different dimensions that are out there, just like we're not interested in having friends or hanging out with people of all different dimensions. We're really interested in hanging out with those that are a vibrational match, because we know that allows us to get insights about who we are and go higher in our path. It allows them to go higher. If we're dabbling in all different dimensions, it can drain our system. It can deplete us. It doesn't always allow us to have the powerful impact that we're here to have in our destiny. So it's the same with non-physical energy, which is just makes so much sense, and is so cool and perfect all at the same time. Such an honor and joy to share with you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here on the planet, being aware that you're an advanced soul, being aware that you are here for a specific purpose that is here to help elevate and support the collective consciousness, those that are maybe more at various levels of unconsciousness, supporting their waking up through you doing your work and showing up in the way that you are. And again, as the JOGs remind us, when we say advanced souls, it doesn't mean we're putting down. No one else has to be lesser than. That's a very human thing to do. What that means is that you've lived many, many incarnations, and you came with a very powerful purpose and mission that is not to be fucked with, that it is here to be made manifest. And it is through your act of co-creation with the non-physical realm, with your higher self, with work such as this, that you really allow that to occur. The JOGs and I are sending you so much love. If you like this episode, please share it with your people. If you have questions for future episodes, please email heatherstrangassistant@gmail.com. If you would like to get your own copy of A Life of Magic, an Oracle for Spirit-Led Living, go to Amazon.com, type in Heather Strang, A Life of Magic, or just Heather Strang. You'll come to my author page. You can click right on it. And through April 8th, if you're listening to this and it's not yet April 8th of 2016, we've got a Spirit-Led Living toolkit of guided meditations and supports for you if you'd like to take advantage of that. And you can find that at heatherstrang.com, books, A Life of Magic. So much love to you, and I look forward to hearing your comments below. Let us know what you thought, what came up for you, how are you getting in your own way, and now stopping those thought forms and contributing to the greater expansion of the collective. Leave it in the comments below. So much love to you, and look forward to seeing you soon.